This term came up the other day when I was meditating, and the term was self-abandonment. And it just made me reflect on, the tens of thousands of women in my community and the women that I've served over the years. And I think that this term can help a lot of people. So think about what self-abandonment would mean to you. Where in your life have you self-abandoned? Have you had a dream that you've given up on? Have you given up on your health? Have you given up on your body, your weight, your fitness? Have you given up on your dream career? Have you given up on the dream relationship? Where is it that there is a part of you that may have always wanted to achieve something or do something, but you've kind of just given up too hard, just too hard? And in the process, what happens is that a little bit of our spirit kind of goes off with that. And over the years of coaching women, I've really seen such a massive link between self-abandonment, now that I think about it, and women that are really struggling to stay on track on their program. And I think this links really well into self-sabotage. We abandon ourselves every time we fall off the wagon. We abandon ourselves every time we go and binge, every time we go and do whatever that addiction is, right? And that is because we wake up in the morning and we go, right, I'm going to be good today. I'm going to get tomorrow's another day. Monday's going to be wonderful. I start on Monday. So I'm going to just party all weekend, make the most of it, do whatever. And I'll be good on Monday. And then by Monday night comes and we're just like, oh gosh, that was a really hard day. I told myself I wasn't going to do it, but okay, just one glass of wine or just one little bit of this or one whatever the indulging habit is that you may have. And in the moment where we're doing that, we are self-abandoning. We are literally disconnecting from what our soul wants, what our higher self wants, what our, most wonderful parts of us, our inner coach really wants us to look after ourselves and get our shit together and, rock that whatever it is. But yet we're stuck in these patterns and these cycles of self-abandonment. And so the question that I would have you contemplate and really think about is, where are those areas that you are continually self-abandoning, and what would you really like to obtain that you're not currently getting? And I think once you get really clear on where you've kind of disconnected, where you've let yourself go, and can take ownership of that, then you can start kind of going through the process of, okay, how do I turn this around? If you're watching this video, you're probably already in that mindset. So welcome, you're in the right place. So once you understand, okay, right, I keep self-abandoning myself in this way, it can be really helpful to go back into your past and try and figure out little pieces of the puzzle. Was that behavior ever modeled to you? Were there certain events or situations in your life where you kind of went off the rails, so to speak? Were there situations in your life where certain events happened or certain characters played roles in your life? It could even be parents. Having run retreats for so long, I know that about 30 to 40% of women have issues with their mothers, for instance. And we're not even talking about the daddy issues here, of which there's multitude as well. But often we grow up in childhood with an environment of parents that are kind of, programming us. And if we aren't kind of a match for their personality types, we can actually make them mean something. And in those moments, we download core beliefs where we might think, oh, well, I'm never going to achieve that. My sister's the smart one. I'm not the intelligent one. Or my brother was the successful one. And so we end up having to figure out what our role is in our life, particularly in our family home. And there's a number of different characteristics that we may take on. Sometimes we might be the funny one. Sometimes we might be the smart one. Sometimes we might be the sporty one. Sometimes we might be the rebel, the naughty one. But we create certain characteristics growing up, basically to fill our needs for attention and for love and connection. But what can happen, though, is that can really alter kind of the course of our life, because if we download negative core beliefs, then we might end up compromising who we truly are for the rest of our lives. We might attract partners then that are representative of the love we experienced in our childhood home, which psychologists have linked that together really well. Generally, we're trying to rewrite our story later in life. We're trying to recreate something that happened in our childhood. We want to end our own story. So we will attract partners often that are really not compatible with us, but we'll feel a lot of fireworks and a lot of sparks because the resonance, the vibrational frequency of that person is a match for what we experienced in our childhood. And this is really interesting because as babies are born, they don't have language, they don't understand language, but they do understand energy, they understand vibrational frequency. So whatever environment a child is born into, they will download that as kind of like an energetic imprint. So guess what happens when you grow up and you go out and you're, partying with your friends and you're going off and meeting people? Yeah, that person across the other side of the bar ends up being quite hot and quite attractive. And then all of a sudden you're falling in love and there's fireworks and it's just amazing. And, you just never thought you could love anybody like this. If that happens to you, be very mindful, because what we understand now is that, and particularly in adult attachment theory, is that we will attract that same vibrational frequency, that same energy of what we experienced in our childhood homes. And so if you came from a home where, it was a little bit dysfunctional, and most of them are these days, then often we will be recreating the same patterns in our adult relationships. And some of you watching this will already relate to that. I certainly know that I've married my father once or twice, well, one marriage, but those sorts of situations, because if we're not aware of what it is. And what psychologists believe in this space is that we are attracting a particular type of person with that same energy to replay traumatic wounds, in a sense, to bring them up for healing. And we have an amazing opportunity if we're consciously aware of those situations, particularly if both partners are consciously aware, that we have an opportunity to heal here. But of course, you can have opposing trauma. You can create trauma that is not in alignment, that is not healthy, that is actually not going to help you heal those wounds from your earlier life. So we need to be quite mindful around that. But if you have two people that have opposing wounds that are consciously awakened and really want to grow and learn and heal, then that could be an amazing, incredible outcome for both souls.